Good morning. Welcome to the online classes on Internet of Things. Today we will discuss about the second part of the data acquiring, organizing and processing and analytics chapter. So here in this class today we will be speaking about different data transaction functions, business process, business intelligence, and the applications integration. First and foremost, let us see about the data transaction. So transactions, business process, integration, and the enterprise systems. So first one is transaction. So what do you mean by transaction? A collection of operations that form a single logical unit of the database is called as transaction. A collection of operation that is going to form the single logical unit in the database is called as the transaction. So it is going to consisting of the all the operations that is executed between the begin and the end of the transaction. So here you can have the different operations you can have. So for example, you can have the connect, you can have the insert, you can have the append, you can have the deletion, or you can have the modification in the unit of the database. So here transaction is something that is done on the particular database. So it can be anything that is between the begin and end of the transaction. Any operation that is between the beginning and the end of the transaction. So which are the different operations we can use? We can use connect, insertion, append, deletion and modifications also. Here we have only listed some of the operations. We can have many other operations also. Next we will see what is business transaction. So a business transaction is a transaction related in some way to the business activity. So if a transaction is related to the business activity, then it is called as business transaction. So while coming to here, let us see the OLTP, that is online transaction processing. So while coming to the online transaction processing, the processing as soon as the data or the events that generate in the real time. Yeah. So here it is mainly used when the requirements are the availability, speed and the concurrency and recoverability in the databases for the real-time data or the events. So most of the time in real world applications where you are going to need the support of the real-time data, that time we are going to make use of online transaction processing, that is OLTP. So here the transaction at the ATMs is one of the examples for the OLTP. Next we will see about the batch transaction. So what do you mean by batch transaction? So while coming to the batch transaction processing, a transaction processes in batches or in non-interactive way, that is called as batch transaction processing. So first and foremost, what do you mean by batch? Or which are the things that is done in the batches? For example, when you are saying about the medicine that created in the batches or the manufactured in the batches. So what do you mean by batch here? If I have to give the one simple example, then let us take our computer only and let us say that I have set of instructions. What do you mean by interactive is as soon as the one query comes, it is going to execute that and it is going to respond you with the result. That is interactive. And again the next query comes, it is going to execute. Next query comes, it is going to execute. But batch is not like that. Batch is like a group, or you can say set there. You can say it is a group or you can say set. So here when you say batch here, it is, even though one query has come, it is going to wait for at least some more queries to come. Okay, then that portion is called as batch. That collection is called as batch. Now the computer will execute that complete batch together. So the client will also get the reply in the batch only. So he is going to get the reply to everything. Okay, in the single time only. So while coming to the batches, let us say that I have the batch of 5. So as soon as the one query comes, it is going to wait there till 4 more queries will come, because I mentioned my batch is of 5. So as soon as the 5 queries come, that I will be sending the data to the server for the processing. Again in the same manner, there also, as soon as it gets the answer for the 5 of them, then it is going to transact the result. Okay, so here when one set of the transaction finishes, the results are stored and next the batch is taken up. Okay, so after the transaction is finished, the results are stored and next batch is taken. That means after you get the result, you are going for the next batch. Here the simple examples are a credit card transaction, where you are going to get the your billing at the end of the month. It is not an interactive, right? You are going to get the bill at the end of the month. Okay, interactive means what? Let us say that I have used the credit card today, so the bill should be, I should get the credit card bill at the same date only, or at the same time only. But batch is, I'm going to get the credit card bill at the end of the month there, right? So here another example is chocolate purchase transaction. The final results of cell figures from the ACVMs communicate on the internet at the end of the hour. Okay, see here also you are purchasing the chocolates here, but the results, right? I have purchased this much, I have purchased this much, that is going to be communicated over the internet at the end of the hour. Okay, so that means in that particular hour I am buying the things there, right? But still it is not giving the response to me as soon as I buy one, but it is going to wait for the batch there, right? 1 hour or a day, like that summary report is generated. Next we'll go for the stream transaction. So what do you mean by stream transaction? A processing on the stream of data using the specialized frameworks is called as stream transaction. So you are working on the stream of data. So which are the examples? We have log streams are there, event streams are there, and the Twitter streams are present here. So here query and the transaction processing on the streaming data needs specialized framework. So here since you are going to work on the stream data, you are going to need the support of the specialized framework. And here real-time stream transaction framework. So these are some of the real-time stream transaction framework that has been used: Spark, S-Streaming, Flume, S4, Storm. They are the few of the real-time transaction framework. Now let us see what do you mean by real-time transaction processing. A transaction processing at the same time as the data arrives from the data source and the data store. So as soon as I get to the data, I am going to start processing it. Right? I am going to start processing it. So that is why they are called as real-time transaction processing. Now let us go for the interactive transaction processing. So if I have to say, this is the opposite of the batch processing. Okay, so let us see what you mean by interactive transaction processing. A transaction which is going to involve continual exchange of the information between the computer and the user, right? As I already mentioned, as soon as the query comes, it is going to take the query, it is going to solve it, and it is going to directly give the reply. Okay, so it is not going to wait for the some other query, or it is not going to consume any of the time there. So as soon as the query comes, it is going to execute, or as soon as the request comes, it is going to execute. So the examples are very user interaction during the e-shopping and the e-banking. So complex event processing, that is CEP. So applications using a capture of a combination of data, timing conditions, and efficiently recognizing the corresponding events over the data stream. So what you are doing, you are having the application, using that you are going to capture the combination of data, right? Because for the IoT or anything implementation in the real world, we require different IoTs, right? And plus you want to have the number of devices also, right? So it is going to capture the combination of data, timing, conditions, and it is going to recognize the corresponding events over the data stream. That is why it is called as complex event processing. So some of the examples are IoT event processing application, stock algorithms, based trading, and location based services. So event stream processing or the complex event processing. So processors task on receiving the stream of event data identifies the meaningful pattern from the streams. So here what you are trying to do is, when you are going to process the data which has been collected, right, streams which has been collected, what you're going to do is you are going to find the meaningful pattern in that particular stream. So that will be very helpful, that is finding the pattern. So it is going to detect the relationship between the multiple events. So it is going to find out how they are related and those things. So while coming to the event stream processing or the complex event processing, you have the correlating of the event data, detecting the event hierarchies, detecting aspects such as timing, casualty, subscription, membership, and buildings, managers, the event driven information system. So here, because you are going to get to the answer based on the events, so we have to have the proper collecting methods based on the events. Then we should also have the hierarchies. Then we should have the like a timing or subscription membership. Next, let us go for the business process. So what even by business process? A series of activities here. So that is a process there. So what do you mean by business process? A collection of interrelated structured activities. A collection of interrelated or structured activities or tasks or the processes which follow the logical sequence. So processes is a set of activities. So what do you mean by business process? So here a collection of interrelated structured activities or the tasks or the processes which follow the logical sequence. So here one that serves the business process will be used to serve the particular or the specific result there. So some of the examples are business process tracking of the RFID labels. So next is business process in an enterprise here. So the simple example that can be given is inventory control process in the enterprise using the IoT and the RFID. So here we have different process types are there. One is operational, then you have the support, then you have the service, and then you have the management. So the next is distributed business process. So what I mean by distributed business process? Collection of logically interrelated business process in the enterprise network is called as distributed business process. Collection of logically interrelated business process. Okay. So here a software system is going to manage the distributed business process. So let us see some of the features. So you should have the collection of logically related business processes, cooperation between the processes in the transparent manner. Each user within the system may assess all the processes decisions which all of the business process if they were the signal business process. Location independence is given. Enterprise business intelligence which will be unaware of the where the processes are located, and possible to move the result of the analytics and knowledge from one physical location to another without affecting the user also. So here the main thing is you are going to collection of the logically related business process. So here cooperation between the process and the should be in the transparent manner here, and we can assess the process decisions also. So it is going to provide the location independence also. So next we'll move on to the this diagram here. So if you see this diagram, here this diagram is going to show you the distributed business process at the enterprise, where you will be having the network and the device gateway protocols or the layers. Now business process 1. Okay, so here the business process 1 is going to interact with the device so here the interrelationship between the distributed business processes are shown here. So enterprise layer business process 1 interrelates directly with the device and the gateway layer of the business process 4. So if you see here, this is business for process 4. So here this is the business process 1. Okay, EBP1 there. So here they are directly related. They are directly related to this one here, that is device and gateway protocol. So here while coming to EBP1, that is business process 1 here, it is going to interact with the device data, what are the adoption that you are going to do here, and the data integration and the data encirclement layer for the specific automobile. Now EBPP1, that is business process 1, is analytics with the non-historical data. Next is network layer business process. So here network layer business process, that is NBP2, interrelates directly with the enterprise layer or the business process 3 here. So here this one, that is NBP2, this one is going to directly interact with the enterprise layer business processes. 3. Okay, so business process 3. So here business process 2 will directly interact with them here. So while coming to the business process 2 here, you can make use of the data SS, or you can make use of the SQL, query programming R, or you can also make use of distributed statistics, component specific historical database. So here it is going to have the access to 10 of the tens, or I can say numbers of automobile of the same model as the sending data. So here then you have the EBP3, that is business process 3 here. It is having the analytics interacts with the other automobiles databases and the historical database. So it is also going to predictive and perspective analysis. So here the business process 2, it interrelates directly with the device and gateway protocol, updating the databases for the NBP2. So next is business intelligence. So what do you mean by business intelligence? Business Okay, this is a summary of the previous thing, what we've done. So business process consists of the series activities. So here the collection of the interrelated structured activities of taste or the processes which follow the logical sequence there. So it is going to process the matrix number of the suggestion or elements here. Then element may represent a series of the operation and the activities on the given set of inputs. So here it is going to have the distributed business process also, that is BP2, is a collection of logically interrelated business process in the enterprise network here. Then we have the distribution of the processes, which is going to reduce the complexity. It is going to reduce the complexity, um, communication cost, faster responses, and small processing load at the central system. Next, we'll go for the business intelligence. So, while coming to the business intelligence, a process which is going to enable the business service to extract new facts and knowledge, and then undertake the better decisions, is the business intelligence here. The new facts and the knowledges from the earlier results of the data processing, aggregation and analysis of those results. So here we are going to extract new facts and knowledge from the business process at the application layer. So here the automobile service center business process. So this is how the automobile service center is going to work there. Next we have the diagram, one small diagram. So here okay, so here mainly you will be using the data SS here. So while coming to the data SS, we are going to have the that is taking the data or analyzing purpose or for the storing purpose or anything. It is going to use the data SS, SQL, query processing, or which is having the descriptive statistics, predictive analytics, and at an application support layer. Now, if you notice it here, gateway and the sources acquiring data layers here, organized data store layer is here, then application of the support for the analytics is here, and the business analytics and the intelligence applications here. So here the gateway and the source acquiring data layers are there. So which will be making use of network to organize the data store sublayer. So next we have the adaption and the encirclement, enrichment. So here the Internet of Things or machine-to-machine data sources, automobile components and the sublayers. Now next is enterprise business communication. So here the processes move the other results of the analytics and knowledge from the physical nodes to another in the distributed business. So here we have the application integration. So what do you mean by application integration? Application software may consist of the number of applications here. So here the application integration is a process of developing the number of applications and services into one application. So you are clubbing every application to one thing there. So here the weather casting, forecasting, or we can have the satellite maps. We can have the predictive analytics, etc. So we can have many things here. Okay, integration of the heterogeneous application architecture and the number of processes here. So the enterprise is going to have the number of applications, services, and the processes. So heterogeneous systems will completely complexity when integrating them in the enterprise. So I'll go to the next slide here. So Oracle application integration architecture here. So we can do the collaboration, knowledge management, enterprise architectures, e-commerce, external customer service, service chain automation, visualization, data center optimization. So we have many things, many terms to remember, and then we have the decision points here. So process matrix, which is going to provide the decision points here, which processes they should run in a parallel and which in the sequence. So integration, the number of business process interact with the decision points here. The decision points results integrate into the processes orchestra. So here the process orchestra is going to enable the number of business opportunities run in parallel and a number of processes in the sequence here. So thank you.